The left-handed king is dead, and it looks like Brandon Ellsessor killed him.
Couldn't find the crown. I'm still looking for it. Where is it?
Yeah. Is that safe to say or no? Is that safe to say, Brandon, or you think he's still got a lot more left in the tank?
Oh, Travis?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that depends on his motivation right now after the match. I mean, I guess two things could happen. Either I retired him or he comes back with a vengeance and starts training his ass off and gets back to where he used to be. One of those two things that happen.
Right. You know what's funny is that with arm wrestling, you never count anybody out. You know, nobody thought that John Brzenk was going to come back and climb that ladder all the way back up to Devin Larratt again. You know,
right.
and he did. I mean, and they just, he seems like you get better and better with age. So I would never count a guy like that out. But so
still waiting to get old man strength. I still can't wait till I get mine.
Yeah, it's the guys on the How old are you now, Brandon?
30.
Oh, you're young, dude. You got plenty of time to go. So, how did you wind up getting that match?
It's like the 15th time I've been asked this question. I don't know exactly how to answer it. Paul Italia was trying to get me a match, and we were looking for people, couldn't find anybody. And I guess Travis decided he would do it or something because we needed a match. I don't know the whole story, but that I didn't care. I was like, oh, I got a match with Travis. Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Right. Of course. Now going into that match, now of course we're talking about Travis Bagent, right? Probably one of the best left-hand pullers ever. So going into that match, I'm assuming that you were an underdog.
Oh yeah, yep. On paper for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm assuming definitely you were an underdog. So, do you think he took you lightly, or did you beat the best Travis that he brought to the table?
I think that was the best Travis for the current version that he is right now. I don't think he took me lightly. I mean, he knows that he's not in his best shape, but he didn't take me lightly on that given day.
Mm-hmm. So when you I'm going to ask you two questions that kind of go together. But the first thing is, how does it feel knowing that you were the underdog? And I'm sure it was blasting all over social media how Travis is going to kill Brandon and blah, blah, blah. Brandon doesn't have a chance, all this crap. How did it feel when you actually beat him and you were able to shut everybody down?
Oh, it definitely felt amazing. As soon as everybody was saying I didn't have a chance and blah, blah, blah. And then I happened to beat Travis, and then all of a sudden everybody's saying, oh, Travis wasn't training. It's like people are making excuses for Travis. Like he doesn't need excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like I won the match. I was better on that day. That's the way it is. Even Travis is still Travis Bagent. Even if he's been on the couch for a couple years or whatever, it doesn't fade that fast. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, he's not as good as he was, but he's still really good. He's relevant.
And especially, say that again?
I'm a lighter guy. I was only 215 that day.
And how much was Travis?
I don't know. He's bigger than I am. Heavier.
But you are 215 quality.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know if that makes much of a difference in arm wrestling, but your quality, you're a gym head, you're a fitness freak. You are all nothing. You're 215 muscle. Was Travis in shape? I don't even know.
No, I mean, he didn't. How good a shape was he in when he was in his prime? I mean, he was.
Yeah, he was never like a big fitness freak, right?
But you don't have to be an elite arm wrestler, you know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, wrestling on a table doesn't make you jacked.
No, you're just right about that. Yeah.
Makes you jacked, which doesn't necessarily even correlate to arm wrestling. So I mean, you can't really gauge off of how somebody looks.
No, you're right. You're 100% right, because John Brzenk was never a big gym guy, and he was probably the best arm wrestler ever. Yeah, you're right about that. Explain if you can explain the match, because it seemed to be that one moment where you knew you had him, and you could see the change on your face where you knew, okay, I got this one. This one's in the bag. But before that, you could tell it was kind of still sketchy. Explain the match.
Okay. The first match, we got into a war right off the bat. He was hitting, surging the pad. I was stopping him just above it, like 3 or 4 times or however many, and then I started to smile because I thought I was actually going to come back and win that match, but I definitely knew for sure that I was gassing him out and that I was in it. So that's why I was definitely smiling. And he ended up pinning me, but it was an elbow foul, and he fouled twice, I guess. So I ended up getting the win on that, which he probably would have pinned me if he didn't foul. But anyways, I won that match. So then the second match, I was up 1-0. So I knew I had a mistake that I could make if possible. So I wanted it, and I had the buckle. So I was like, oh, I'm going to try to hook him this time, which was a bad idea. And he ended up flashing me. If I would have stayed stuck with my plan from round 1, it would have been another war again. But I tried going inside, and I didn't get my lock on him. But of course, if he would have won the first round, I wouldn't have tried that in the second round. So I think the second round would have been like the third round if he won the first round. If that makes sense. Yeah. So in the third round, I dug in harder. I dug in deeper, and I wore him out, and I finished him. I ended up finishing him off with a press.
So it was only 2 out of 3. Accurate?
Yeah, best of 3.
You think things would have been different if it was 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 7?
I think at that point I was just gaining and gaining more and more off him. I think it would have eventually, if we would have kept going, eventually it probably would have went to where I got hand control on him. That's just my opinion. But I had plenty in the tank.
You said in the first match you knew you were gassing him out. How'd you know?
I could just tell his hit was fading a little bit. I was stopping him closer to the pad. I was getting comfortable. And he had like one good surge left in him, and he got me out of my shoulder. But I was still confident after that because I just knew I just knew.
His power left-handed, were you surprised? Did it feel like a ton, or were you like, oh, I can handle this?
Yeah, his hand was stronger than mine. I could tell. Not out of the straps. Out of the straps, we felt kind of even, but we kept slipping. In the straps, he had a little more back pressure or something. His hand was a little stronger than mine. I could tell. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get hand control on him, but that was what I expected before even going into the match. My plan was I'm probably going to lose my hand. I got to get to my side of the table and get my lock with my bicep in there and hold him off that way because I'm still very strong there without my hand, and that was my game plan.
Was it surprising, or did you know you were going to lose your hand?
Wasn't surprising. No, I expected to. No. I was gonna. I mean, I didn't know 100% sure that I was gonna lose my hand, but I was prepared to lose my hand, and I knew right in the setup before the ref said go that I was gonna lose my hand. So I wasn't even fighting up top. I was just getting my grip and dragging backwards, and keeping my shoulder inside my body. That's all. That was my focus.
Was there anything else that surprised you? Did he kind of? Let me rephrase that. Is there a difference when you're pulling somebody like Travis or a Devin or a John Brzenk? I mean, you could basically put them all in the same category because they're like the best North Americans. Are there things that they do that make them better, or things that they like tricks that they have that the average puller doesn't have?
I would say there is. I think everybody's kind of perfected their own game. Like, I think Travis probably knows things that John doesn't know, and John knows things that Travis doesn't know. I might even know something that neither one of them know. Larrett might know all of it.
Yeah, right.
Mixed martial arts, like everybody's got different styles and perfects their own games, and like there's many ways to skin a cat. I couldn't say which is the best. There's a counter to pretty much everything.
Was his power fading or just his gas was fading? He was running out of gas.
Well, I think he was both. I mean, they kind of.
Okay. They kind of go hand in hand, right? I guess if you're gonna gas out, you're gonna lose power, right? Which it goes back to our original, what we were talking about originally. Maybe if he was more of a fitness guy, maybe he wouldn't have gassed out so easy.
Maybe, or if he just had been training.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I talked to him a few days before the match, and I was just fucking. I was like, "Oh, by the way, how long you been training for?" And he seemed pretty serious. He's like, I can't remember if he said 2 months or 4 months, but he said he'd been training for 2 or 4 months. And he's like, "Oh, I'll be honest, I could probably beat Shawn Lattimer right now." That's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I gotta go find Shawn Lattimer.
I was gonna say, since that happened, what's the future? What's happening now? What's next?
Yeah, well, Shawn Lattimer, if you're listening, I'm gonna get you next time.
Well, I'll make sure I send this to him because I don't know. My podcast is weird. I could put on a video and I might get I've had videos where I've had 35,000 views, and then I put on a video and I get 30. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'll make sure I send it to him. Hopefully you guys get that going. Mm-hmm. Has anything changed? Are there more haters now, or are there more guys, kind of patting you on the back, or has anything changed since then?
Yeah, there's more of both.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not exactly. There's definitely a lot. I didn't have many haters before, but now since I started my YouTube and posting stuff, there's a lot of guys saying stuff like, "I don't even know who this person is," but okay. Doesn't bother me.
So now, what's your YouTube? I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's Brandon Ellsessor, the arm wrestling. I just started it 2 weeks ago.
Brandon Ellsessor. What is it? The arm wrestling what?
Yeah, the arm wrestling journey.
Oh, the arm wrestling journey. Okay, I'll make sure that I put it in the description area.
Yeah, I started 2 weeks ago. I've got 6 or 8 videos up already or something. Trying to get some more subscribers.
I was gonna say you probably have more subscribers than me by now. It always helps when you're the person in the sport as opposed to the interviewer or the critic.
Right. As long as you're interesting, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm not, which is why I have people on you, like you on.
Yeah.
So what made you go into arm wrestling? Because you're 30 years old. You're obviously really into fitness. I've seen your videos. You're a big gym head.
Yep, my dad was a professional arm wrestler growing up. So, yeah, that was pretty much inevitable. But I never actually did it. I never even went to a single practice until I was 19, 20 years old. Mm-hmm. I didn't arm wrestle any more than anybody else. I didn't have no, advantage. And I'd say my genetics are average, slightly above average. So, I mean, it's not because my dad was a professional arm wrestler why I'm really good, but he is the reason why I got started. And I got started with a group of guys that have plenty of experience in national titles between 3 or 4 of them. So I had a good group to get me started for sure.
All right. That seems to be a lot when you have somebody in your family. I actually had Steve Walker and Madison Walker on, and the father-daughter duo.
Steve Walker? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Steve and Madison Walker. I mean, great people, and she's a sweetheart, and he's a good dude too. And she is going to be one hell of an arm wrestler. She's only 20 years old. She already has a world title. I mean, she's going to be one hell of an arm wrestler.
Yeah.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or?
I never really stuck to anything for very long. My favorite sport was dodgeball in gym class. If that was a real sport, I wouldn't be arm wrestling right now.
Yeah. Was that your favorite movie too?
Nah, it was all right.
Yeah. I didn't play any sports in high school. My favorite sport was chasing girls. That was about it. That was about all I did. It's unbelievable, the cloud that you're in when you're in high school. It was all I did was hang out on the corner with my friends, drink beer, smoke weed, and chase women. And that was pretty much my whole high school experience.
you're into, man.
So I'm going to ask you some what do you call a question? Opinion question. So what do you think, Devin or Levon?
Got to be pancake Devin. Can't be regular Devin.
Yeah, right.
Got to be like pancake, like every day Devin. He's got to be like 315, 330 pounds.
Yeah, Levon, it's like I would normally pick Levon, but since Devin has like, whatever, another 5 months to get ready for it, it probably I would give him a better chance. But what about Michael Todd and Gennady?
I just talked to Michael Todd on the phone today. We were talking about that a little bit. I'm gonna go with Michael Todd. I don't know. His style is trouble for anybody, and I believe he's gonna come in heavy and do his thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael Todd too. And what's funny is I spoke to him on the phone accidentally. So so it's not like him and I are boys or anything. But what happened was I interviewed him once before, right?
Huh.
And then I heard he was pulling Gennady. So I texted him. I was like, "Can you come back on the podcast? And talk about your upcoming match?" And he calls me up and he goes, "I don't know who this is." And I was like, "It's John. You were on my podcast, Serious and Silliness." And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm not doing any podcast until after the match." He's like, "I'm really concentrating on it." And I think he really feels like he doesn't have a choice. He has to win this. So I'm going to go with him on this one because I really think that he is just letting it all hang out. He's going in 110% because he really feels after that Devin match, I think he really feels he's got a point to prove and he's got to win this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they both got to kind of have to win this one because Gennady just lost to Hermes Gasparini, I believe it was.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to go with Michael Todd because he's American, so screw it.
For sure. Yeah, he called me today. It was like, I live in New York, and my phone's ringing. I gave him my number a few hours before. My phone was ringing. It's like Little Rock, Arkansas. I was like, no, my card was warranty. They're gonna say my car warranty is expired.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Oh, that's got to be Michael Todd. So I answered it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it's always something else when somebody like that because he seems like regular dude, down to earth dude. When I actually met him at the Mr. Olympia contest, I just walked up to him and said, I have a podcast. Can you be on it? He was like, yeah, no problem. He gave me his number right there, and man of his word, came right on, and we bullshitted for about a half hour. Great interview, and does a lot for the sport. Is tremendous champion of the sport.
Yeah.
So now, before you have a match set? Do you still train hard, or you kind of take some time off after a big match, and then once you have something set, you go back into it? What's the training like?
Yeah, really, almost never changes. I'm not saying that I do it the right way because I probably don't take enough time off before matches. I'm always like looking ahead to like the future, like I don't know, so I can get to the highest peak possible 10 years from now. So I don't want to like stop training now, but it probably would be advantageous sometimes if I took it a little easier. But I'm an arm wrestler. Can't help myself.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you are. You're a competitive athlete, and arm wrestling is your sport. Sure.
I'd do it every day if I could. If I had somebody to train with.
Do you have a crew? Do you have a group?
Yeah, I got there's a bunch of people in different areas all around me that I could go train with. I train on the weekends with my one training partner, and I teaching a group of guys during the week. I don't want to say teaching necessarily, but I guide them a little bit, and we just arm wrestle and practice and have fun. So I train on a table.
Nice. Where in New York do you live? Upstate? Syracuse?
By Rochester.
Oh, okay. Because I live in Jersey, but I grew up in New York. But I grew up in New York City. So one last question, and I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
How often do you get mistaken for? I forgot his name. Hold on. Aaron McRae from Jackass. Yeah.
Eric, what's his name?
Aaron I think his first name is Aaron. His last name is McGahee. That's it. Aaron McGahee from Jackass.
Is he? He's not one of the main characters, is he?
Oh yeah, he's one of the main characters. But you're like he's like a skinny version of you.
I'd know him if I saw him. I've seen that show a million times back in the day.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just retarded.
Oh.
What'd you say?
Nobody's ever told me I look like him.
I'll send you a picture of him, because except that you're like a buff version of him. Oh, and you have all your teeth, because he was the guy that got his teeth pulled out. Remember? You remember they attached his fishing line to his tooth to, I think it was Bam's Lamborghini.
I do kind of remember that. I just can't remember what he looks like.
And they took off in the Lambo, and his tooth came flying out. And so, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Yeah.
He's missing a tooth. That's definitely him.
Yeah, that's the guy that got his tooth pulled with the Lambo. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think they're coming out with another one, actually. I think they got another Jackass coming out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, except the guys are in their like late 40s now. It's not going to be,
Yeah, if they're still doing that in their late 40s, that's. I don't know.
I think Johnny Knoxville's 49, actually.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if they can keep up with their younger versions of themselves.
No, are you kidding? Forget it. I mean, think about it. I mean, you're 30. I'm 45, and I've always been a gym nut too. Just wait till you get to 45. I have to do, like today, right after work, I went to the gym, and I did 5 warm-up sets before I even got started into the workout.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah. I had to get all the kinks out and so on and so forth, because if not, like, if I just start throwing on the weight, it's like the pain comes and so on and so forth. It's unbelievable. Whatever.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that a little more each year already.
All right, so Brandon, who you calling out? What's his name?
Who did I say? Shawn Lattimer?
That's it, Shawn Lattimer. Okay.
I'll run into him eventually. I'll jump right in his weight class. He can't hide.
All right. So that's what I'm going to put on this video. I'm going to put Brandon Ellsessor calls out Shawn Lattimer. So I'll see.
Well, I already called out Michael Todd in a YouTube video yesterday. So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I want a toilet bowl. I want a toilet made out of gold. Sometimes you're not going to get what you want. Give me a break.
We'll find out.
We'll see. Exactly. Brandon,
all hand, Michael Todd's all arm. What's the difference?
Yeah,
I got a little bit for each of them.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's see what happens with him and Gennady, because I have a feeling that whoever wins that is going to go with the Devin Levon. The winner of Devin Levon, So, well, somewhere down the road, maybe. But as of right now, Shawn Lattimer, he's public enemy number 1.
Yes.
And we'll see where we go from there. Brandon, thanks a lot, dude. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, I appreciate your time. And, man, congratulations. Seriously. It's always fun to see the new blood coming up and taking down the old champions. You know what I mean? It's always fun seeing that. And congratulations. I appreciate it when I watch the young guys like that have all that work ethic and whatnot. It's good to see. All right, brother.
Keep it up.
Definitely. Have a good night.
All right, you too, man. Bye.
Later.